going, and some jalapeno peppers, and might do a it's called a BLT salad, more of a pasta salad type thing, but it's BLT with pasta pretty much, and it's really good. So yeah, plan on getting up there. Hopefully, have a little smoker fired up about noon, and away we go.
Are you just doing regular barbecue sauce?
Yeah, so I'll what do you want me to give my secrets out? What do you want me to do here?
No. I've had your ribs with I thought it was like a sweet Asian something or other, Korean barbecue.
Oh yeah, those were like the Korean short ribs. Yeah, those were the Korean short ribs. But yeah, this is just gonna be your traditional, St. Louis style ribs.
Yeah.
Do a dry rub and maybe sauce them a little bit. I'm not a huge fan of a lot of, if I wanted to eat just barbecue sauce, I just buy the bottle and squirt it in my mouth. But I like the meat. I like the meat, so I don't like to drown it in sauce and stuff like that. But we'll have it for people that want to put more on, but I'll put a little bit on. So yeah, it'll be good. I'm excited.
Okay. Yeah. Hopefully, like I say, hopefully we'll get lots of people out tailgating themselves. Everyone doesn't need to go to Seth's tailgate, but yeah, hopefully we increase that tradition and get more people out there and tailgate, because that's definitely just a fun time. So definitely a good, I guess, a good way to go to games, in my opinion. So. We've already mentioned on this podcast, everywhere you go, they've got, at a minimum, double, triple, quadruple the amount of tailgating, except BYU. But everywhere has way more tailgating than Utah State. So, it's definitely something that could be better, could be improved. But regardless, the game coming up, that's the most important thing too. Hopefully Aggie fans are keeping their tickets, not selling to BYU fans or anything like that. Brian, what are your thoughts so far on BYU? How much have you watched BYU so far?
I'm gonna be honest, not a whole lot. I read up on them statistically. I can't. I can't follow them. I'm gonna be honest. I can't do it.
Yeah.
So I will, leading up to this week, I've periodically checked in just to kind of see, if I come across them on the TV or something like that, I'll check to see a score and stuff like that. But I'll read up just because it's not as time consuming as sitting and watching one of their ball games, which I just can't do again.
Yeah.
So, it's a team that I feel like they really haven't had much of a challenge thrown at them. They've got what would be considered P5 wins. I feel like it's
Pac-12,
three Pac-12 wins. I feel like they're definitely the bottom half of the league. Those 3 wins. I don't really feel like, even though it was close, I don't feel like South Florida really threw much at them last weekend. Regardless of who they played, they haven't scored over 30 points, at least in 3 of them. The final score of the South Florida game is escaping me right now. I don't remember if they got to 30 last week or not.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't really try and convince me that they're an explosive offense when you haven't even hit 30 yet. And so, that I feel like.
Well, 35 points against South Florida, but they
hit 30. They hit 30 for the first time last week.
Yeah.
I feel like that kind of plays into our hands. Our defense. is really more like a bend but don't break style. You know, we've won 2 of our 3 games in exciting last second finishes. You know, the Air Force game was clearly shootout style, but the defense made plays when it mattered. And so I feel like even after last week, you know, I feel like our defense is up to whatever challenge gets thrown at them. They've done just enough to get the win. The offense just kind of dropped the ball last week against Boise. So I feel like the defense played well enough to win.
Yeah.
And I think,
Yeah,
and I think they'll do that again this week against BYU. I would be surprised if they get to 30. I will.
Yeah, the last 3 games have been won with 40 plus points. It's not that rare to be, you know, 30s or 40s, be a pretty high scoring game. You know, obviously we remember the 6-3 game. I think there was like a 28-10 game, but other than that, they've all been pretty high scoring games for the most part.
Right.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting. So I've watched most of their games, and I think BYU. I would say the way I would describe BYU is they do have much better skill players this year. They have much better defensive backs. They have better athletes, better wide receivers. So they definitely have the ability to stretch the field, to be a good offense, and to maybe stick with Utah State's wide receivers with their defensive backs. You know, obviously they've played three Pac-12 teams, so I think they've seen some pretty good talent, and they've actually been playing both offensively and defensively. They've been switching it up. They haven't been kind of only doing one thing. And going into that Utah game, when Kyle Whittingham said, "Oh yeah, they usually drop back and play zone and let you get the short passes and bend but don't break." When I heard that, I figured BYU would come out and definitely do something different. And the rumor on, as far as like BYU fans, is that the defensive backs at BYU went to the coach Tuiaki and said, "Hey, we want to play more man. We can stick with these guys. Let us prove the ability to play one-on-one with these Utah receivers." And he did. He definitely changed his defense. They looked completely different against Utah than Arizona, which was the only game before that. But since then, I think they've switched it up a little bit back and forth, not to be too predictable, and I guess they've been able to do multiple things. So that's the thing, or that's kind of the thing that scares me about BYU. But at the same time, I think Utah State can find some weaknesses as well, whether it's running the ball, whether it's certain matchups. I think there is going to be some opportunities, and so I think with both teams, I think that's going to be the big key in the game, is who finds some of those weaknesses, or maybe it's BYU just trying to run down the throat of Utah State's defense. So what do you think in that situation? I mean, I guess Air Force kind of tried to do that, but it's probably a little bit different strategy. What do you think about if BYU just tries to run right at the Aggies and take away some of that speed sideline to sideline?
Seth, go ahead. You can field this one.
Yeah, I don't know. I hate talking about BYU, period, you guys. I mean, I mean, honestly, it just gives me the willies. But like I said last week, the guys that didn't know, but I grew up in Iowa. Iowa's undefeated. they got them ranked 5th in the country. They're not the 5th best team in the country.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Hawkeye fan, but I call it as I see it. They're not. They're just not. Their defense is elite. If their offense could be just a little bit better, like maybe half as good as they are, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I might be able to give it to them. But then I look at this BYU team and they got them ranked 13th. They're undefeated, but yeah, they beat an Arizona team. That Arizona team got beat by Northern Arizona. I don't know what that tells you.
Right.
And they beat a Utah team that hasn't really showed me all that much this year, you know. Then they beat an Arizona State team, which I think Arizona State is overrated every freaking year, to be honest with you. I don't know what they did. Like, I don't even know who they played before Arizona
Right.
State. I'm not sure who they played before, but as far as BYU goes, running it down our throat, Algiers he's a good running back. I don't know how many carries he's getting a game. Is he getting 20 plus, or is he? Because I'm like Brian, I haven't.
Yeah,
Honestly,
he's
I
getting
haven't
like
watched
20.
the snap unless
He's
it
getting
was.
like 20 rushes per game.
And how much is what is it, Katoa? What's
Katoa's
Katoa?
getting 7.
So they're
Yeah.
rushing the ball. I mean, so are they? I mean, obviously somebody else is probably running the ball too. But I mean, just between the two of them, that's almost 30 yards or 30 carries a game between the two of them. So obviously they're going to come out and do it. You know, they're going to try to run the ball. Do I feel like we can stop them? I mean, we've kind of proven Air Force is a different animal. You know, I don't know. I don't know how you can like stop Air Force. You know what I mean? The way what they do. I just don't know. You're not going to. I don't think going to completely shut them down. But I was very pleasantly surprised. Our run defense was good against Boise. You know, I mean, what did we give up? 120 yards, 125 yards on the ground total.
Yeah.
And a lot of
Our run.
And a lot of that's not. Our eyes are still jacked up because I mean their quarterback's running free. You know what I mean? I don't know how many yards. Brockmeyer probably had what, 30, 40 yards on the ground of those 120. I don't have the stats in front of me, but I'm just, you know, going off of memory here.
Right.
But it seemed like he ran it pretty well, you know. But as far as their running back, and you know, that Boise team, like Brian said, that secondary, that's probably the lengthiest secondary. I just couldn't stop looking at their safety. I just couldn't believe how tall that guy was, you know, and just lengthy. You just, you know, and their linemen were big. We're going to see big dudes this week, you know. Some of them are kind of, are they going to play? Are they not going to play? LaChance, I don't know if he got hurt in the South Florida game. Saw on Twitter that he's been on a boot, and then as of Monday, he's doubtful still. So I don't know. I mean, they're going to plug and play. I mean, they're going to have some other big guys in there. You know what I mean? So I don't think
that's former Utah State defensive lineman Harris LaChance.
Yeah, well, I know, but we don't need to talk about that. But I don't remember, not saying it can't happen, but I don't think BYU's really gone off on Utah State on the ground for quite some time. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, I mean, not saying they can't Friday night, you know, or they won't, but I'm confident in but I just think they do a lot of play action. They do a lot of the, you know, pro set stuff, you know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, our secondary is going to have to, the last 2 games, I haven't been very impressed with the eyes of our secondary. I think we're a little bit better, you know, this last game. I was very happy with the way our defense played against Boise. Like Brian said, we played well enough to win that game on defense.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, as far as BYU coming out and running it down our throat, I'm confident that, you know, I don't think they're just going to be able to line up and first down run, second down run, third down run, first down, you know what I mean?
Well, what's
I'm
what's
confident in
really
our
interesting.
guys.